All right. Hello, hello. Hello there, Mr. Christopher Ham. I'll do like usual, give everybody time to get in. Hopefully you can hear me all right. All right. Cool. Just realized this table sits at a slight slant. I think it's just because it's just the way it is. I don't know. I'm gonna have to like fix it. I feel like I'm sitting like this. All right. I'll give everybody a few minutes to get in. It's not quite 6 yet, but right there at it. Definitely very different weather for summertime. There you go. That's a good idea. I should set it the other direction though, because I feel like I'm this way. I should set it this way. That would really be like some kind of MC Escher situation or something, you know. Kind of need a. Apparently, I'm having an unstable connection. There we go. Awesome. Love unstable connections, you know, because that's good for making sure I don't lose anybody. I don't know. Maybe I could find something to hopefully find something to set the computer on and make it a little bit straighter. Let's see how that is. Oh, there we go. Look at there. Now it's a little straight. You can see. Now I should just sit like this on purpose. I'll give me a crooked cherry. like a witness protection. Yeah, I know. It's weird. I don't know why they didn't move like that. Probably because the table is now on carpet. Before it was on hardwood floor. And so it didn't seem to jostle as much. Now it does. So I don't know. I'm going to have to figure that out a little bit. Bolt my little camera to the table or something, you know. Oh, man. It's been a crazy, busy week. Yeah, I don't know. I got a bad connection. Could be just the time of day. Everybody's getting off of work, or everybody's jumping or getting home and jumping on the computers and logging on to the internet. So it's that time when everybody's on. Let's see here. Send out a couple little things here. A couple more real fast. Get it out to the family. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, because my numbers keep jumping. I'll get up and then it'll come down. I'll jump up and down. So I'm wondering if like people are having a hard time connecting for some reason. Give it a couple more minutes. Yeah. Yeah, it's like witching hour or something, you know. When it gets like this. And my notes are a little erratic today, so we'll see how this goes. I don't know. This week's been crazy. Today was crazy. So I'm just kind of just was having a real hard time because like to try to get my notes into a flow, but for some reason I just couldn't figure out the flow of these notes in particular. Um, just because the topic's kids and dogs, and I'm mostly trying to. You hear the birds in the background? Yeah, I got a window right here to the side, and they're always like perched out right here. So gives it a nature thing going on, you know. But yeah, this one is kids and dogs, and it's not so much how to introduce your kids to dogs; it's what to do if you have an issue. So yeah, I'm like losing people here. Yeah, I keep saying my connection is unstable. For some reason, it gets bad and I lose you. I'm sorry, everybody. Um, if somehow it goes dead, I'll try to log back in. If not, and I'll just either get it up and going again another time later this week if I have time, or I'll just have to wait till next Wednesday. We'll just have to see how it goes. So, all right, we'll go ahead and get started. So today's topic is kids and dogs. I kind of mostly want to address this about the situation of like what to do. It's not how to introduce your dogs. It's about what to do if your dog has an issue with your kid, basically, and with your child, and how to handle it. Let's see. Yeah, well, I think it's still recording. So either way, it just will be a little glitchy. So if that's the case, I will just finish it out and then I'll just upload it afterwards. But I'll just kind of go through it, and then hopefully if anybody's got questions, they can just go ahead and put them in the comments below and everything. So since it's having a hard time. But anyway, so today's topic is about kids and dogs. Yeah, because like I'm down to like one person viewing now. It's been up, it's been down, it's like all over the place. So, but kids and dogs, this is about what to do if your dog doesn't get along with child, and some things to kind of not do and not let the child do, and then why dogs may act the way they do towards the kids. There could be different reasons why. So first thing I want to start off with is when you have your dog, whether it's a puppy or an older dog, you should always have supervised play when they're younger children. I mean, of course, if they're, teenagers and stuff like that, they can usually handle themselves. So that's usually not a big deal. Most of the times when dogs have some sort of an issue with children, it's with younger children and smaller children. So with that being said, then, this is not necessarily like what to do with your child if you got a teenager or an older child. So, but anyway, anyways, the main thing is always make sure it's supervised. You don't want to ever leave your dog unattended with your child. They are dogs after all, and dogs do dog things sometimes. And it may not be what we like, and it could turn out to be bad. So with that, supervised play. If you can't keep an eye on your dog and your child, then you put your dog away or put him in the backyard or something, but you always make sure that it's supervised, and always want to make sure that it's a positive incident too. One of the things you don't want to do is you don't want to have your dogs, they always have all these videos that you see of the kids riding the big dogs or climbing over the top of them or grabbing them by their face and smashing their face into the other dog's face. Really and truly, your kid shouldn't be treating your dogs as a playground. That's not what the dog's job is. It's to be a companion. It's to be a friend for the family, a companion for the family and everything. You don't need to be doing that kind of stuff. That's, that's how a lot of children get bit. Everybody's like, this is so cute. And they're climbing all over the dogs. And some dogs don't have a problem with it. Or some dogs, they will put up with it, and they will put up with it, and they will put up with it. And then one day they just they'll bite. Or they'll nip at the kid or something like that. And then now it's a big, huge ordeal. And now it's a bad thing. Now, for me, one of the worst things that you can do is you got to be careful. You don't want to punish the act. Because if you're not doing it correctly or timing it correctly, you could actually make it to where the dog thinks it's because of the child that they're getting corrected for. So you have to be careful with how you do that. You don't, if you're sitting over there and the dog and the kid's doing something, the dog doesn't like it, and the child is over there messing with him, and the dog growls. Well, you're not giving the dog any kind of guidance. You're just yelling at it. Well, he may then turn to think that it's because the kid that he's being punished, not because of what he's doing. Because he really, in his world, he's trying to warn that child, hey, stay away from me. So with that, you also have to learn dogs' body language. I've done a video on stress in dogs and how to read stress. You can always go back and watch that and take a look at that. And, pay attention to what your dog's doing. If your dog, if the child starts getting in the dog's face and the dog's backing up, he doesn't like it. He's trying to get away. If his ears are all pinned back and he starts panting and licking and all this other kind of stuff, eyes get big, he is not happy with what's happening. So you need to have that child back off, or that child is going to get bit, and it's not going to be the child's fault, and it's not the dog's fault. It is the parent's fault. I see this so many times with people. It just makes me cringe. I watch people let their kids get in dogs' faces, and I'm just like, oh man, or even strange dogs' faces. I just get really, it just weirds. It just really wigs me out. I can't stand it. I'm just, I'm waiting for one of these days when the dog just bites the crud out of a kid for that. With that being said too, not all dogs want to be hugged on and want to have, especially by kids. You got to remember, if you've got a small child that's been introduced into the family, your dog's been there for a while, and the child is new, to like a newborn child even, or whatever, or you're taking a child to somebody's house that doesn't have any kids, you have to remember, bless you, my dog's over here sneezing. But you got to remember, kids are different than adults. They're weird. They move erratically. They make a lot of noise. They're all over the place. Bless you, Freya. No place. So they move all over the place. So it's not what we're used to. Most adults, we move in a deliberate motion. We're not running here and screaming and running there and screaming and throwing stuff around, just making all this crazy noise. Hey, Justin, nice to see you. They're not making all this crazy noise and going nuts. So children can be different. Some dogs don't like that. It weirds them out because they've never seen it before. So you got to keep that in mind as well. Also, some dogs are noise sensitive. The screaming of the child could be weirding them out. It could even be scaring them because they don't like it. So you got to keep that in mind as well. If the dog noise is a little loud, let me know, and I'll close these windows up. Our neighbor dogs are barking, and it's getting ours barking. So you got to remember that. Also, another thing that could be happening is there's a possibility that the dog has fear issues. We got to keep that in mind, because if the dog is fearful and then you have a newborn baby that comes in and he's different, especially when he starts to get mobile, and he's all over the place. When he's young, he can't go anywhere, and there's just a crying. That could, even if that doesn't weird him out, but hey, Mason, when he gets mobile, that can get really weird too. And not only that, but now the baby is at eye level with the dog. It's in the dog's space on the floor, which is the dog's, getting into his area and his stuff. So that can also cause an issue too. But remember, if the dog has fear, he could be afraid of the baby. And so some people want to, take the baby and put it down there by the dog. Look, it's a baby. That dog may not like that. So you got to be careful with this and watch how you're doing it, Also, another thing you got to keep in mind too is if the dog is old, he may want to calm life. He's used to it being calm and quiet because it's just been y'all. Come back just in case. Like I said, I'm not getting anything. Hold on, because I want to see. I want to see if I can see anything on my end from doing it here. So hold on one second. Give me a minute. I'm going to try to log in to my account here as well and see if I can see what's happening. All right. All right. Well, oh, there we go. I'm up and now. Awesome. All right. So, sorry about all that. I was about to log in to see if I could see what was happening on my end. All right. So, sorry about all that right there. What I want, like I was saying, this is mostly about how to or how not to correct your dog is really where I want to go with this. The other stuff was just kind of things to, to try not to let your child do and to things to look for with the dog and everything else. This isn't really about how to introduce your dog to a child or anything like this. This is about basically correcting the dog or not correcting the dog. Like I said, so the first thing is you got to be careful. Some places teach that they just want to go in there and the dog starts growling at the kid and they go in there and they're like, you knock that off kind of thing and just really hammer it into them that you don't do that. But the problem with that is if your timing is wrong and you don't do it properly, you can actually make the dog afraid of the child. So then what ends up happening, when the kid starts coming around it, if you've done it enough, the dog may start growling at the child, trying to simply tell it, look, man, stay away from me because every time you come by me, I get in trouble. Well, dogs can't say it that way. So the way they say it is they go grr. Well, most little kids don't know, especially little toddlers. They have no idea what's going on because even most adults have no clue. They don't pay attention. So many adults get bit because they're not even paying attention. So if an adult doesn't notice these signs and doesn't pay attention to them, then a child more than likely isn't going to either. And what happens, the kid will keep coming at him, screaming and yelling and running at him, and doing all this other stuff. Well, that dog may show some lip and stiffen up and back up. And finally, it's like, crap, I'm trapped, can't go anywhere. So what does he do? He bites because for him, that's another warning. In the dog world, that is a warning. Stay away from me. So they will bite. And most of those bites are not bad bites. They're not a bite to kill or to eat the child. It's a warning bite. But the problem is because of dogs' force, when they do bite us, they could sometimes break the skin or it bruises because they're strong, But I tell people, if they really wanted to cause damage, they would either have been causing damage already and there'd be nothing you can do about it to keep them away from the child and they'd be wanting to eat the child nonstop. Or if they really want to do damage, they could. These dogs can break bones with one bite. So, especially large dogs. So, most bites like that are warning bites. It's just staying away. He's already tried to give other warnings. He's stiffened up. His eyes are big. He's getting back. The lip kind of comes up. He may have growled and then he finally bites. So the problem with it is like I said, you don't want to correct that. You do want to correct it, but you don't want to punish it, I should say. So, because if you do it at the wrong time, you can make it worse. Several years ago, there was a gentleman who called me and was wanting me to come out and take a look because his dog, anytime his kid even came in the room, he started growling. So I talked to the guy a little bit on let the child play around. Make it a positive thing that the child is there. Do some obedience around the child and reward it a lot. Play around the kid. Get them used to the child being around. Like I said before, just don't let the kid use the dog as a playground. That is not right. People think, well, it's a dog. It's our pet. That's the way it is. Well, you're not going to let your kid go run around and climb all over a lion. Why? Because lion would eat him. But we think just because it's a dog that it's okay and the dog should put up with it. Well, no, he shouldn't. So, like I said, you got to make sure you have some obedience because you want to start giving him some guidance. Before I get a little bit further into anybody got any questions? I know it's been kind of in and out and breaking up, so I don't know how much people have heard or haven't heard. So, sorry if this one has been kind of not as good as the last ones because I don't always know when I kick out and kick back in. So, but any questions from anybody? Hold on a second. Also, I want to take the time and thank everybody, for showing up on Wednesday and being here. If you please subscribe, definitely subscribe if you like hearing what I have to say. It's not an amusement park, George. No. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I do too, Mason. I do the same thing before I bite somebody as well. So, I mean, you don't want, I mean, just think about it. You wouldn't want, if you're trying to relax over here, you're not going to want to, somebody's kids climbing around all over you more than likely. Although Mason, I don't know about you, because I know all those years you've always had the cousins crawling around on you and wrestling you. So it's a little different, but anyway, all right. So what we need to do is we also need to keep in mind that during all this, we need to make sure that we give the dog, if it's starting to get a little overwhelmed and showing stress, we need to give him space, give him a break. We don't want to overwhelm him too much. Even if we're doing some obedience or doing some fun stuff, and they got bit. Even if they're doing fun stuff, whether it's for food or for play, it's a very positive situation. You don't want to drag it too long to where this is getting kind of ridiculous here. All right, there we go. Sorry, y'all. This is getting kind of crazy. But anyway, so like I said, I want to make sure that if I can't supervise the two of them together, I put the dog away or put him in the backyard or something, or put the child away, whatever. Just make sure that he's got plenty of food and water when you put the child away. But what I like to do is I like to use my advantage. I want to give the dog something to do. That way, if he does react towards the child, as long as the child isn't doing something that he's not supposed to towards the dog, but if he reacts towards the child, I'm not punishing him because he's reacting to the child, whether it's out of fear or whatever it is. I don't really care. But then I correct him for not listening to me from what I told him to do, the command I gave him. So if I told him to sit and he's sitting, but then the child comes in the room and starts playing and he gets up and kind of growls or does anything towards the child, then I correct that, because then that's no sit, because you are not sitting. I don't care if you're still sitting in position and you growl. That is not sit. That's growling. So with that being said, I make sure that I obedience for this, to help me out. So this is, yep. All right, never mind. Now, I'm sorry, everybody, for being here, but I keep freezing up, and it's kind of got this whole thing. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I am just going to kind of end it for tonight. I'm going to give it a quick watch. I may just delete this video and then just do it offline and then post it. It's just not working out today. It's getting very distracting and I can't keep my train of thought going. So once again, I'm sorry, everybody, but I'm just going to kind of say goodnight tonight, and I'm going to post it up. But if anybody have any questions or comments or want to hear anything, or want to hear me talk about something, put them in the comments below. I'll keep it up until I repost. And then we'll just kind of go from there. Again, sorry, everybody. Have a good night.